love monster movies, which may not come as a surprise. Dog Soldiers, a decent little B movie. Sweeney Todd, probably one of Tim Burton's best movies right here. The Black Scorpion, another great 50s monster movie with stop motion effects by Ray Harryhausen. Oh, another thing about this DVD is that if you get this DVD as a bonus featurette, you'll actually get to see the segment from a documentary, a 1950s documentary called The Animal World, which there's like an 8-minute segment of the documentary that's included on here where Ray Harryhausen did the stop motion effects for the dinosaurs on here. So that's a really great addition and bonus to have on this DVD, because Harryhausen's dinosaurs are amazing. Got Close Encounters of the Third Kind, a great Steven Spielberg movie. I found it to be a little slow moving at first, but it really delivers at the end. Of course, you gotta have 300, and I swear to God, if I find one more YouTube video with some gay-ass Sparta remix or anything like that, I'm going to impale my head on a spike. That shit is so cliche now. Dead Space Downfall. This is the first of the 2 animated Dead Space movies, and I like this one better. I thought Aftermath was not very good. Halloween, 25th Anniversary Edition. I love Halloween. The original Halloween, not the Rob Zombie one. The one that John Carpenter directed in 1978. This is a horror movie classic. If you have not seen it, then see it. Goodfellas, my favorite Martin Scorsese movie ever. I have on VHS probably my favorite James Cameron movie, The Abyss. This is an amazing movie. If you have not seen it, then see it. I have the box set for the original 1933 King Kong movie. If you've seen the Peter Jackson version, if you haven't seen this one, see it. This is the movie that made monster movies awesome. See it. Just trust me on that. And plus, get this DVD too, because there are all kinds of awesome special features and stuff on here. Just you owe it to yourself to get this DVD. It is kick-ass. Another really old movie, this is from the 40s, it's called All the King's Men. This is a really good movie because it's about a fictional Louisiana politician named Willie Stark, who is played by Broderick Crawford, who actually won an Oscar award for this movie. Yeah, but this was remade at some point, but the remake wasn't very good. And this movie is actually based, if you're into history at all, it's based on a real-life politician whose name is Huey Long. He was a politician who wanted all Americans during the 1930s to basically live in gigantic luxurious houses and be rich and wealthy. Masters of Darkness, the 100 movie pack from the company Mill Creek Entertainment. These guys have made a crap load of DVD box sets. I'm shit you not. This thing has like 100 different really obscure, crappy horror movies from all the ages of cinema. Well, you know, there are some really good movies on here. You know, it has the original Night of the Living Dead by George Romero. It has the original Phantom of the Opera movie with Lon Chaney. I'd say this is still worth getting, because this is one of the only box sets that actually has a bunch of really good horror movies on it. The Fly, one of the best horror movie remakes ever. And if you have not seen the original 1950s version, I implore you to do so, because that movie is just as good as this one. I shit you not. Jeff Goldblum is awesome in this movie. Batman Begins. The Dark Knight. The Incredibles. Excellent movie. Or incredible, I should say. Godzilla Final Wars. This is the last Godzilla movie they ever made. And boy, they went out with a bang. This movie is fucking insane. Because in this movie, you actually pay attention and somewhat care about what the humans are doing. And the monster fights do not disappoint at all. And it has a really weird, complex storyline. But at the end, it's all just really straight out dumb fun. It's everything you could want from a Godzilla movie. Speaking of Godzilla, I got Godzilla the series, which was actually based on the 1998 American Godzilla movie that was directed by Roland Emmerich. I wish I could get more DVDs of this series. This is the only one I have. This is actually a really good series where they took the American Godzilla and they had him fighting against a whole bunch of other monsters. V for Vendetta, Apocalypse Now, the extended version, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, a really awesome silent movie, Hulk versus, just straight up fun. Both Hulk versus movies are just nothing but total fun. Reanimator. Gotta have Reanimator in here. Rambo. God, this movie's fucking crazy. I'm a big fan of the Rambo movies, too. Those movies had a big impact on me. I got the other Rambo movies in here as well. Hellboy 2, I've yet to collect the first one. Both movies are really good. Taste the Blood of Dracula. Yeah, I'm really big into the Hammer horror movies as well. Like Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, The Curse of Frankenstein. Also got Dawn of the Dead and Land of the Dead. Well, actually, this Dawn of the Dead that's on here is actually Zack Snyder's remake. This is not the original 1970s version. However, I do recommend you watch this because Zack Snyder's remake is actually really damn good. In my opinion anyways. Oh boy, I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. Star Wars Episode 3 and 2. Now I know you're gonna hate me for this. But I do not think that the Star Wars prequels are as bad as everyone says. Now, they're certainly nowhere near as good as the original trilogy, but I still think that they're quite watchable and enjoyable in their own right. Plus, there is one reason why I can't be too hard on them, but I'll get to that in a little bit. So let me just put those back. First Blood, the original Rambo movie. If you have to see any of the Rambo movies, see this one. It's a great movie. Hellraiser, the first one. One of my favorite horror movies ever. Clive Barker is awesome. Dawn of the Dead, the Ultimate Edition. This has like 3 different cuts of Dawn of the Dead. If you're a fan of the movie, then you need to get this DVD because it kicks ass. The Brain. Yeah. Escape from New York. An awesome John Carpenter movie. Kurt Russell is badass in this movie. An American Werewolf in London. Great movie. Bubba Hotep. Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All-Out Attack. One of the best newer Godzilla movies that has thus been released. You get to have 4 monsters fighting in this movie. It's awesome. It kicks fucking ass. Mothra vs. Godzilla. Interestingly enough, this was also known as Godzilla vs. The Thing for unknown reasons. Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, the first movie ever to introduce Ghidorah into the Godzilla movies, and it is a classic. Speaking of classics, I have here the very first original Godzilla movie in all of its Japanese glory, simply titled Gojira. Now, this DVD contains both the original Japanese version of the movie and the bastardized, crappy American version with Raymond Burr, simply titled Godzilla King of Monsters. Adding Raymond Burr into the American version was the worst thing you could do because his acting in the American version was so freaking wooden. I recommend seeing the Japanese version because it's a lot more dark and serious. It takes itself very seriously, and it really makes you believe what's happening in the movie. And Godzilla looks scary as hell in this movie, and in the black and white cinematography. They made very good use of filming techniques in order to use this. This is an excellent movie if you haven't seen it. This is an amazing DVD to get to. It kicks fucking ass, I'm serious. Rodan and War of the Gargantuas. These are both, well, technically I already have Rodan, but War of the Gargantuas is actually a movie I originally didn't have. Plus, this has a really good documentary about the history of Toho's monster movies, so it's a good buy. And I have a Godzilla double feature, Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla and Godzilla vs. Destroya. The period in which the Godzilla movies from like the 80s to the early 90s was actually known in Japan as the Heisei era, whereas the original era of Godzilla movies from the 60s to the 70s was known as the Showa era, and the newer Godzilla movies from the very late 90s to the 2000s is called the Millennium era. So I just thought I would explain that to you all. The first Transformers movie. I actually really like this movie a lot. This is the one that actually feels like this feels like a Transformers movie in my opinion. It has a very good sense of awe. And at the end of the day, I like it a lot. I think it keeps very true to the spirit of the Transformers. Minority Report. This is my favorite Steven Spielberg movie ever. See this if you haven't. It's fucking amazing. Howl's Moving Castle. I wish I had more Hayao Miyazaki movies, but unfortunately I do not. But this is a very good one. I wish I could get more movies like Princess Mononoke and whatnot, but my DVD collection is very flexible. I'm sure to add more stuff to it in the future. The original 1986 Transformers movie. Now this is an amazing DVD because the movie looks incredible in the quality that's on this DVD, and the special features on it are also